How do you buy hearing aids like a pro? Learn from people that have done it. In this video, we asked close to 100 of our customers here at ZipHearing to give their #1 piece of advice to people buying hearing aids. Our favorite 20 recommendations are in this video. They're from folks that are savvy buyers. Many of them have bought multiple sets of hearing aids in their lives, and now you can learn from their experiences. Enjoy.
My #1 advice I would give to you if you are considering hearing aids is to give it time during your trial period. Wear them every day. That first week is going to be a little bit rough or uncomfortable as you're adjusting to them. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, I feel them, I hear everything, and my hair rustling would make noise, but you do get used to it. And now I'm to the point where I automatically put them in and I kind of forget that they're there, except for that they do amplify and make me be able to hear conversations and participate in a lot more activities because I'm able to hear everything a lot better.
The one piece of advice that I give them is to go through ZipHearing.com, especially to price shop, because the difference in price from the $6,500 that my audiologist quoted me and the price that I actually got them for through ZipHearing was almost a $2,000 difference.
I can tell you the #1 piece of advice I'd give you, don't wait. It's a nice way to, bring a lot back to your life and be able to hear conversations that you couldn't otherwise hear before.
My advice is when you get them, use them, put them in, even if you're not going anywhere. If you're going to be at home alone all day, still put them in to get used to them. I never had a problem getting used to them. I've heard of other people that had a problem. Mine were perfectly fine from the moment I put them on.
I would say probably the best advice is go ahead and do some research. I went to 3 different companies, and you can try them all, at least in the state of Oklahoma, for over 30 days. So I went to 3 different companies, realized the Phonax were what I wanted, and then after I did that, I decided ZipHearing was the best, the cheapest, and all around the best deal for the money.
A piece of advice that I would share with everybody is, look, hearing aids are really hard to buy. And I guess if you've never been there, you don't really understand it, but it's super overwhelming. There's like way too many options out there. They're super expensive. It's like a major financial commitment for those of us who pay out of pocket. Piece of advice. It was a huge gift to stumble upon the ZipHearing videos. Okay, so they do reviews on different hearing aids. I learned about major brands that are kind of like go-tos. That really narrowed it down from like hundreds of options to like 6 major brands. And therefore I was able to go from there and single in on what I purchased. So my advice to you would be to go with the ZipHearing or any other reviews you can find on the YouTube, or talk to other people that wear them. Get as much advice as possible, because I had been given other advice and by a different audiologist for a different pair, and I just didn't feel right about it. I didn't feel right about the brand for me, and I'm glad that I kept looking.
The advice I would have for you, even though I would recommend this particular model, the P70 Phonak, is to do some research on your own. There's lots of YouTube videos out there, and it's a great way for you to evaluate the features and hear from other users and other audiologists. I would also say don't overspend. You may not need the very top of the line. See if one of the mid-range models works for you, and do a little bit of research. I think you feel more comfortable at the end of the day.
The one piece of advice that I would give to someone considering purchasing hearing aids is you got to be certain you're not better off not hearing what's going on in the world. I mean, there's a lot of noise out there, and I'm hearing it every day, and you get to hear it really, really crystal clear. So, of course, you can always remove them from, your ears, and, that's an option. So, but, I had an uncle that never wore his hearing aids because he said there's nothing worth hearing, except that when I went to talk to him, he put them in.
The best advice that I can offer to you is to get your hearing tested. If your hearing is deficient, then purchase hearing aids. If your pride is stopping you, get over it. If hearing loss continues without hearing aids, then the experts say that this can lead to permanent hearing loss that is not correctable. That happened to a friend of mine, and it is tragic.
So let me tell you another thing. My advice to anybody wearing hearing aids is twofold. First, don't wait too long to get your hearing aids. I waited a long time, and I got tired of my wife saying, "You got poor hearing." And I said, "No, I don't have poor hearing. I just got selective hearing." At any rate, don't wait too long. It's better to get into and start getting adjusted to them. It takes a little bit of adjustment. And the second reason, and the most important one as far as I'm concerned, is find a place that's got an audiologist that you can work with and you're comfortable working with, and he or she is comfortable working with you. This is important because you need to not only adjust them when you buy them, but they need to be continually adjusted. As people get older, their hearing changes. And I've had many hearing tests with audiologists because that's the way they could tell my hearing was changing, and they could readjust my hearing aids. But that's probably the most important thing that I would give to you is find a specialist that you're comfortable with, and they work with you, and they're happy working with you, because it's an important part of it. You just can't go buy them on the web or wherever you would like to buy them and get them touched up once, and then if you don't have somebody to continue to do it, you're going to be in trouble with your hearing aids. I have a lot of friends that never wear their hearing aids because they never got them to work for them. And this is probably the main reason why that they didn't work for them. They never kept them adjusted to their hearing.
So my advice to anybody who needs hearing aids is, accept that you have a hearing problem. There's nothing wrong with wearing hearing aids, and do your research. And I'm sure once you find all of the different brands and all the providers, you will come back to ZipHearing. They saved me a ton of money. They found a great provider, a great hearing aid, and they have, I'll be with them for as long as I need hearing aids.
And the one piece of advice I would give to anyone considering a hearing aid is find one that you enjoy, particularly in terms of hearing people clearly and hearing music in a way that you haven't heard for years.
The number one piece of advice, which my cousin gave to me, was definitely see an audiologist, a doctor of audiology.
The number one piece of advice that I would give to somebody who's considering hearing aid is to don't wait as long as I did, and get it done and start living your life the way you should.
My number one advice is if you're struggling with hearing, you're having hearing difficulties, don't put it off. Just go get it done.
Advice I would give for people who are looking to buy hearing aids, if you've never had them and you need them, absolutely, you need to get them. It's a game changer. At this point in your life, hearing is essential. It's a quality of life issue. And do your homework, and also try a number of different brands and models to see what's best for you.
What is the number one piece of advice to someone who's considering purchasing hearing aids? Well, I went to 3 different providers to, the hearing aid provider to get tested. And the third one was the one that I found to be the people that I felt most comfortable with. As far as ZipHearing, I placed the order through the provider that was going to fit them, and then everything worked out just fine. But I would recommend going to 2 or 3 different people to get your ears tested, your hearing tested, because you may find a better fit with one of them than with another.
And the number one piece of advice that I would give to someone who is considering purchasing hearing aids is do your research, look at the different brands, and talk to someone that has used them.
The number one piece of advice I could give to someone considering purchasing hearing aids is do not be afraid to try them. ZipHearing is okay with you trying hearing aids. I did it until I found the perfect one for me. So many people would recommend just getting the baseline technology. You can watch YouTube nonstop. It's always people saying, just get the baseline. Just get the baseline. There's no reason to get the extra features. Just get the baseline. But I've tried the baseline. I tried the premium hearing aids. There have been studies done on these. The premium hearing aids are usually chosen over blind studies anyway. But the reason why I like the premium hearing aids, and I think it's worth a little bit of extra money, is just because I connect to my computer. I'm speaking to you through these hearing aids right now on my computer through the YouTube video you're going to be watching very shortly. It's amazing. The baseline improves your hearing greatly. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want the baseline, go for it. But as a young person, headphones, AirPods, native speaking microphones, headsets, they are a thing. You're kind of left out without them.
And let me offer up just one final piece of advice. And it won't be surprising given what I've already talked about. When you purchase hearing aids, consider investing in models with all the technology you are able to afford. I don't think you'll regret it.